Welcome to the Redvee TV Show, supported by Chapel House Cars for the 2024 season. As we look ahead to the visit of the Giants to the Totally Wicked Stadium this Thursday evening, a little bit of Thursday night rugby league. Kevin?
Beggars can't be choosers.
School night, but hey-ho, we'll go anyway. Before we get on to the Giants, you attended the reserves on Saturday. And a little future star, and somebody we know well, came up with a winning try.
He did indeed, yeah. Noah in the second half, from about 20 metres out, took the run, no stopping him. And went in under the sticks. And to be honest, I know, like, you can look at the reserves and dual reg and everything, and it's obviously a big step down from first team, but it showed why he's in the conversation at the moment. It showed why he's highly thought of at the club. And there were a couple of good performances across that team. Young Deon Sambu had a good game as well. Elusive, fast, just kind of had an eye for an opening, and kind of broke free and set Harry Robertson away for probably the try of the game. So, you know what, there's a couple of players knocking on the door, and I know there's been a couple of players out on dual reg and the likes and on loan this week, and it's good to see him getting game time.
Yeah, Ritson and Johnny Vaughan at Swinton at the weekend playing dual reg, overcoming Dewsbury. Ritson getting a couple of tries on the board, good for his confidence, and finds himself back in the 21.
Yeah, have you seen the Ritson tries?
No.
The first one set up by Johnny Vaughan, little inside ball, and he kind of scoots and goes. And then the second one, the winning with like by 20 odd points, last minute, and Deck Patton puts a diagonal kick across. He takes it, and it takes some finishing, and it's good for his confidence, and it's good for him to get a tough run out, because I think Swinton and Dewsbury had only won one game all season before that one. So it's good for him to get that run out for a team who I don't think they're meant to, or they're not kind of predicted to be setting the championship on alight. So kind of a little bit backs to the wall, but yeah, it's good for him to get that game. And you know what, as you say, he's back in the 21, just rewards for going over there and getting a bit of confidence. And on the presser today, Paul Wellens was singing his praises, saying he's in genuine contention. In the last month or so, he's seen a bit of a spring in his step, which he kind of had been missing in pre-season, and that he is getting very close to the team, which pretty much backs up the fact that I've been saying, or we've been saying for a while, he will get his chance. He will get a chance this season, and hopefully he takes it when he gets it.
Indeed. But will it be this week, Kevin? Because, as we said earlier, he's in the 21-man squad.
Yeah, I don't think it will be, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think he'll stick with, obviously, Tommy Makinson and Wonga Blake on the wings.
Yeah, I was listening to the presser earlier, and I think the thing that I took from it was Wello basically saying it's keep it simple this week because they've only really had one training session, with it being the short turnaround. So not a lot of chance to change things around a lot. The question is what you do with the backs this week. Obviously Lewis Dodd missing out again. You've got Moses and By in good form after last week, but Darryl Clark is coming back into the 17. Do you just have Moses and Darryl spelling each other at hooker, or do you move Moses to 7 and Wellesby back to fullback?
It depends what happened with Lewis Dodd's drop out of the squad last week, in my opinion. If he's dropped out, as we believe, on game day, or he's been withdrawn because of injuries on game day, and they've only had one training session, they've not had long to keep working on that Benison, Wellesby, Lomax kind of spine there. So if they've trained more with Wellesby at fullback and Lomax at halfback, is it easier just putting Moses into 7 because you've not had the time to work on that Benison, Wellesby, Lomax thing. Is that what it is? Because obviously Lewis Dodd, Wello again in that presser said that he's had a groin abductor issue, which isn't great for a kicker, and a rib injury and oblique. So there's been a couple of things keeping him out. If that's, he did the captain's run, I believe, as well on Thursday, for the whole game. So if they've trained with him, is it easier just slotting someone into his position than it is going again with what we did last week? I don't know. It's a proper quandary.
I'm going to go with Wonga and Tommy on the wings with Percival and Harrell inside. So then the question is for me then is what gives you a stronger team, a stronger 17 or stronger 13 on the field? Is that Wellesby at 1, Moses at 7, Clark at 9, or is it Benison at 1, Wellesby at 7, Moses or Clark at 9 with one of them off the field? I suspect John Benison may be the unlucky man this week. Because I think we've said at the start of the year, our preferred backline, or Paul Whelan's preferred backline, was Wellesby, Blake, Percival, Harrell, Makinson. And this will be his first chance to go with that back five since round 1.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if he went with Benno still there and was able to just it's probably Ben Davies is the one who'd drop out then, and you put Darryl Clark in on the bench, or Darryl Clark to start, Moses on the bench. But you're right when it comes to his first choice backline. Keep saying Wonga's that Will Hopoate type figure this year. He's got the more experience. He's come over with some pedigree from the NRL, and he's got the pace as well that our supporters and we're calling out that we need in that back line. I tend to think that if he's going to go with anything, I think it leaves you a bit short at hooker, especially spelling. But I think Wellesby, Makinson, Harrell, Percival, Blake is probably the way he'll go, because who's up next? Is it Hull KR away after this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what you're trying to bed in as your back five. I know it's a change and it's a change again, but I think you try and get more closer to your settled team than keep trying to change things. And I think Benison's the unlucky one.
Yeah, does it mean Darryl Clark has to do 80 minutes at 9, potentially?
Possibly, yeah. Again, we could give him 10 minutes, 15 minutes by moving Moses in to dummy half. And I don't know, then you can get whoever can. Jack Wellesby tends
Ben Davis. Ben Davis can come in.
Yeah, of course he can. And just be a pair of hands to kind of shovel the ball on. You've also got the fact that Jack Wellesby in attack tends to chime in. And because, again, Jack and Johnny are used to playing alongside each other, if that means Moses has got to go into 9 and them two become more of our fulcrum, our attacking kind of spots, then you are losing an attacking player there, but you still got to be confident that you've got enough.
Yeah, I don't think it will happen, but could you potentially see or have an option of Ben Davis and John Benison both dropping out? You bring Noah in as your extra prop and then have Morgan Knowles spelling at 9.
Yeah, you could do. It's
another change.
Yeah, it's another change. I can almost see Ben Davis staying in the 17 just due to his utility value, to the fact that he can play in the backs. But the thing is, I don't want to see him just brought on for 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the end to give someone a rest if you're 20 points to the good. Get him on in the second row. He's a capable enough defender. Get him on in the second row for 10 minutes and rotate your second rowers. Give them a bit of time off so they can come back on. Use those interchanges to freshen your team up. and give Huddersfield something else to think about.
Yeah, that last option won't happen purely because, again, go back to what we said earlier about Paul Welland saying about keeping it simple.
Yeah, definitely.
Huddersfield then, Kev?
Yeah, again, I'm going to do exactly as I did with Hull FC last week and refer to this monitor, which says Harvey Levette misses out with a groin strain as Hugo Salabio comes back in the 21-man squad ahead of our trip to the Totally Wicked Stadium on Thursday. Chris Hill, Sam Hewitt, Jack Murky, and Andre Savelio all remain on the sidelines. There's a couple of big misses there for him.
Yeah.
Not least like Andre Savelio and Chris Hill in the forwards.
Huddersfield have gone a little bit under the radar, haven't they? Obviously, they lost to us round one. Didn't have the greatest start to the season, but have quietly gone and won the last 5 games.
Yeah, and again, this is a good test for us. I said I wasn't falling in love with us after that Huddersfield performance. Huddersfield have gone on a nice little run there. And probably have gone a little bit under the radar. I know there was a lot of talk around Adam Swift on the press conference that's gone out on Saints TV. But they've got enough across the park. I think we thought they were a little bit slow at 9 when we saw them. So they must have fixed that up. Otherwise, I think they'd still have the same issues. And Jake Connor as well has been playing well. So hopefully we can just keep the big players quiet.
Yeah, they've lost 3 times this year. Interestingly, against Saints, against Wigan, and against Hull KR. So tough games anyway.
Yeah.
So this is probably a really tough test for us, and there's no gimme by any means, despite the scoreline at the start of the year.
Yeah, they'll be seeing it exactly the same as us. That it's a good test for them for where they are, a yardstick for where they are. One of the teams that's expected to be top 2, 3, 4 at the very least. They want to be in and around and challenging and knocking the likes of us out of contention for playoffs. That is their aim, isn't it? Same as Hull KR's aim, same as Catalan's aim, same as Wigan's aim, same as Warrington's aim. This is what they want to do. So it'll be a good measure for them. And I'm sure they're coming over here in good heart as well.
They are indeed. Predictions then, Kev?
Saints by 10.
Saints by 6.
In a low-scoring game as well, I'm going to say.
Yeah. Not expecting anything too expansive in this one. I'm going for like a 16-10 victory or something.
Yeah, I was going to say something, an 18-8 or something like that for me.
But as we said, the important thing at this time of year is to just keep those points ticking over on the board.
Yeah, absolutely right. That's all you've got to do. You've just got to keep going. And when you've got players coming in and out to the team, obviously missing the likes of Alex Walmsley and Lewis Dodd dropping out this time and wondering who's going to be in that back line, you've just got to work on those partnerships, those connections, and try and get through. And unfortunately, we're not talking about vast, expansive play because you look at that whole game. I'm not getting excited about too much that happened in that. We still dropped a lot of ball. I think the ball stuck in the halfbacks a little bit. And again, I think Wello mentioned that, the fact that we've just got to be more decisive there. I'm not getting excited about forcing goal line dropouts against the team who was just seemingly getting pushed backwards and backwards all the time. It's in these games that if we force 5 goal line dropouts and score off 3, 4 of them, that to me is a good sign. That whole game, I called it a post-training session, and I think that was being a bit kind.
Indeed. Right then, on to Thursday we go. We will be back after the game with the instant reaction, hopefully following another Saints victory. I can't get enthusiastic tonight. Sorry. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Catch you soon.